No, that's not it. Who was this guy again? Guna? Sentir?
Intense thinking, eh?
Well, I tried to assemble all the different characters and dates from Vada Chennai, but I keep getting confused.
Why? It seemed fairly simple to me. Easy peasy.
What bullshit.
Nope.
So you're saying that you could give me all the dates and characters right off the bat?
Yes. Look at this. We have Rajan, Guna, Velu, Pasani, and Senthil in 1987, and we have Anbe, Padma, Siva, Raju in 2000. And we of course have all the other dates and...
Okay, I got it. Deniz the Smartass Meister. Servus Freunde, my name's Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz the Buddymeister.
So far we've only reviewed very recent Indian movies this year, and that won't change today, because Vada Chennai is also only a few months old.
Vada Chennai, which means North Chennai, is a 2018 Tamil language gangster thriller that was written and directed by Vetrimaaran, whom we already know from 2015's Visaranai. It features Dhanush in the leading role and Amir, Samuthirakani, Kishore, Aishwarya Rajesh, Andrea Jeremiah and many more in other key roles.
The film is supposed to be the first one in a trilogy, at least that's the plan of the producers. It is something that we both didn't know while watching, but through the course of the movie and especially during the final minutes, we were kind of expecting at least a sequel. But let's cut to the chase here. Who is who and what is happening in Vada Chennai? It is a complex, non-linear narrative that can be quite confusing.
Oh yes, so let's take a look at this great pedigree here. I don't know who drew it, but it's nicely made and a good compendium of the who's and what's and where's and why's of Vada Chennai.
So there are 5 different dates on which the movie takes place. 1987, 1991, 1996, 2000 and 2003. We start in 1987 and end up in 2003, but in between those two dates we jump around a lot.
Our main character is Anbe, played by Dhanush. Almost all of the stuff that's involving him takes place in 2000 and 2003. The most important characters beside him are Guna and Senthil, the two main bad guys who are both in charge of different cell blocks in the Madras Central Prison and who hate each other since an incident that happened in 1987.
That incident, which is murder, involved characters like Rajan, Thambi, Velu and Padma, who becomes particularly crucial in all of this. But to cut a long story short, Anbu has to go to prison and becomes part of this ongoing gang war that spans over all those decades and, well, the game of Karom plays a very important role too.
It does, yeah, and I kinda want to play that game now. Anyway, thanks to the internet, we could break the story and the characters down very easily, but if we're totally honest, the first third of Vada Chennai was pretty puzzling and at times exhausting.
We pause the movie every now and then to catch a breath and help each other out with what's happening and who is doing what.
It might of course be a problem that only we as non-Indians have because of the language barrier, the Indian names and the sometimes bad subtitles.
Certainly, you have to keep in mind that we don't understand a single word and are completely dependent on reading the subtitles all the time. And in a movie where almost every single second someone is talking, our eyes are glued to the translations and it becomes significantly harder to find the time to absorb and enjoy the actual images of the film.
Right, because of the language barrier, a film that emphasizes a visual storytelling approach over constant dialogue is honestly a bit more welcomed with us. Which doesn't mean that this heavy use of words is bad, but it's simply way harder to fully grasp everything that's going on.
On top of that, the pace of the movie is so fast in that first third, the editing so rapid, it was just very difficult to keep track in general. Sometimes I have my problems with this kind of storytelling, because in my head all those moments tend to blend together to this big, convoluted stream of images where tension building and actual payoffs or just more poignant fleshed out single scenes are suffering. The movie did have those great moments that did indeed stand out, but especially in the beginning it was all a bit too fast and overlapping for my taste, but the movie gets distinctively slower later on. It takes more time to unravel and develop, and with that it gets more intense by the minute.
Yeah, we didn't give up so easily and we were rewarded for that, because Vada Chennai becomes better and of course many things that were unclear at the beginning get explained in the course of the movie.
And you were nagging the whole time. Why didn't they just tell the story chronologically? Why do they have all these flashbacks and flash forwards?
Yeah, it's true. I'm not denying it. I said that more than once, but I was taught better by the movie. Maybe not completely, but I get why they chose to tell the movie the way they did, and in the end, I liked it very much. So, Vada Chennai 1, Buddymeister 0.
Well, Vada Chennai didn't give me anything that I haven't seen before, or something that stood out in a major way, and after all that praise and all the recommendations, I kinda expected that. I still have to say that there is some memorable stuff in the movie for sure.
The cinematography.
To begin with, yes, we are again treated with sheer endless sequence shots that pull us through the paths and roads of North Chennai.
The action, the fighting scenes.
They were nice too, yes. There's a scene where people are fighting under a fly sheet of a tent. That one's pretty awesome.
One of my favorite scenes of the movie, and later on it becomes apparent that Anbe is a kick-ass thrasher too.
Yeah, for a moment there I feared that the movie will go off the rails and all the realism will be thrown out of the window for another macho man who just kills anybody, but it fortunately got its act together. It also wouldn't have fit Anbu. Dhanush plays him very restrained and quiet and certainly not as a macho.
Yep, I like the acting. Great work across the board. Very realistic and natural and gritty. The style of this movie is very gritty in general. I was once again reminded of Angamali Diaries or Uriadi, but themes like betrayal, loyalty and politics are maybe a bit more out in the open in Vada Chennai.
A bit more tricky perhaps, yes. The film definitely has some The Godfather flavor to it, with this young guy who initially seems not to have any intentions to get mixed up in this gangster stuff, but later on embraces his role and builds his power. Very late in the game, there are also some big revelations and twists coming, and while I really enjoyed the badass nature of a particular woman, I would have liked the movie to explore the notion even more so. As it is, it's a bit underdeveloped, but since there's this big to be continued at the very end, they could and should follow up on it.
I certainly hope so. Vada Chennai creates this rich gangster world that has a lot of potential. Once we got more into the dynamics and relationships between all the characters, I really thoroughly enjoyed what it had to offer.
So, in German we'd say?
Vada Chennai mag zwar zunächst etwas verwirrend sein, man verliert tatsächlich schnell den Überblick über die Charaktere und die unterschiedlichen Jahre, in denen der Film spielt, aber wer dranbleibt, wird belohnt, denn der Film wird mit jeder Minute besser, dichter und intensiver.
I give Vada Chennai 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.1, but I don't do that.
For me, it's also 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.3, but I don't do that either.
ಗುಡ್ಸಿಯೋ ಕುಪ್ಪ ಮಾಡೋ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಊರಿಗ ನಮ್ಮದಾದ ಪಾತೂನು ನಮ್ಮದಾದ ಸಂಡ ಸೇನು.
So that's it for today and our review of Vada Chennai. And I think it's time for another question for our fans.
Okay.
What is your most anticipated Indian movie of 2019? I think mine is Rajamouli's RRR, which is scheduled for December, so only 10 more months to wait. And yours?
Very difficult, but it's probably Saho with Prabhas. I think it will be released in August.
Good choice. And what's yours? Tell us in the comments. Until then, you can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at The Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up simply at The Buddymeister.
And you know the drill. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.